There's nothing like snook hook sets at dawn or catching a tarpon in the moonlight. Find your next fishing trip made easy on fishingbooker.com and experience the magic of the Sunshine State or any other destination on your fishing bucket list. Book a blue water adventure in search of sailfish or go snapper fishing with the kids. With over 6,000 captains and trips to choose from, planning your next one just got a whole lot easier. Download the Fishing Booker app on the Google Play or App Store or visit them online at fishingbooker.com to book your trip today. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the old ceremonial hunting tradition of eating the heart out of the first animal you kill. Meat from those organs are among the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet. You can get those same benefits your ancestors craved via convenient daily capsules from Heart and Soil. Find out more at heartandsoil.co. And remember, use code MeatEater for 10% off your purchase.
Hey guys and girls, Mark Kenyon here, and welcome to a special bonus mini episode of the Wired to Hunt podcast. And we don't have a regular show this week because I am, at the time of this episode being published, actually off in Alaska hunting caribou. So fingers crossed, hopefully that's going well. But despite my absence, I wanted to find a way to share a few quick thoughts with you this week because it's a very, very important time of year. Now I know this is no surprise to any of you, but over the coming days and weeks, deer hunting seasons are finally opening again. You know, those dates we've been counting down to for months, they're arriving. So with that said, I wanted to offer up a little bit of a deer hunting season eve pep talk, I guess. You know, just a few things I'd encourage you to keep in mind as we go through these next few months of hunting. So if you're at all like me, being absolutely obsessed with deer hunting, you've likely dreamed about this time of year for months and months and months. You've planned those tree stand locations, you've scouted bedding areas, planted food plots maybe, you've studied trail camera photos, and I'm betting you've stayed up late on a lot of nights thinking about all sorts of different scenarios and situations and exciting moments that might be ahead this season. And all that stuff, that's very important. Putting those plans in place and preparing for the season, it's crucial. But now we're entering a new phase of the year. You know, it's not just prep time, it's game time. It's go time. It's time to execute. And I think a lot of hunters, I know myself included sometimes, we like to talk a big game about all the things we're going to do during this coming hunting season. We're going to hunt more, or we're going to hunt smarter, or we're going to stay on stand longer. We're going to be more careful about scent control, or practice with our bow more, stick it out more often through bad weather, or slow hunts, whatever it might be. But then when we get into the heart of hunting season, and the rubber hits the road, and the going gets tough, we get tired, we get frustrated, maybe we get busy, you know, all those best laid plans, they oftentimes start falling away to the wayside. We start slacking off. We start getting lazy or getting tired, and we fail to follow through. So my first message to you is this: plans and promises and ideas and strategies, they are absolutely worthless. They are shit unless you can execute on them. Is this the year you're going to actually hunt all day during the rut, or walk the extra mile deeper to get into that public land? Or maybe you've promised yourself that you're not going to check your trail cameras too often this year, or you're not going to get lazy about your entry and exit routes into your stands. This season, I want you to follow through on those plans. I want you to do what you said you would. I want you to execute. Number 2, and this is very much related to what I just said, but remember, details matter. If you're targeting mature bucks, which I am, and many of you are, I know not everyone is, no big deal if you aren't, but if you are targeting mature bucks, you are playing a game of inches. Every tiny detail can make a difference in the outcome of your season. You know, you just can't cut corners when you're chasing these older deer. You cannot settle for good enough. You can't get lazy and just figure, things will probably be okay. Because big, old, mature bucks, they just won't tolerate it. It's the tiny details in scent control that make the difference. It's the tiny details related to how you sneak in and sneak out of your stands that can result in you getting pegged or not. It's the little things related to setting a stand, like cutting just the right branches, or silencing creaky steps, or practicing drawing back your bow to make sure you can get drawn back at different angles. Those little things, those are what can, in the end, be the difference between an encounter and a filled tag. So don't get lazy and overlook those things. Pay attention to the little details. Sweat the small stuff. Cross your T's and dot your I's. Number 3, you are going to fail. And so am I. And by that, I mean, this coming season, we are all going to have some kinds of struggles or challenges or mistakes that are going to pop up over the course of the next few months. It is inevitable. It happens to every one of us every season. There are going to be trials and there are going to be tribulations. So just recognize that right now. Come to terms with it. Own it. There's going to be some crappy stuff coming up, unfortunately. So do this little exercise with me. Think about something awful that could happen this coming hunting season that would really frustrate you, or that would keep you from accomplishing whatever goals you have, or that would just totally bum you out. Imagine that scenario. Imagine how it would feel. Think about what that would look like. Kind of soak that in. And then I want you to promise yourself right now, after kind of experiencing that feeling and thinking about it, promise yourself right now that you're not going to let that scenario or any other similar thing stop you. You are going to face that challenge. You're going to acknowledge it, you're going to feel it, and then you're going to push through it, you're going to learn from it, and you're going to grow from it. Remember this, 8 weeks from now when you lose access to a farm, or when you realize all your trail cameras have been stolen, or when the buck of your lifetime shows up in front of you and you miss him, or maybe after you've sat 8 days straight in freezing temperatures and you haven't seen a single mature buck, or maybe not even a single deer at all, remember this then. There's this guy named Marcus Aurelius. He was a Roman emperor and a philosopher, actually. And he hammered this idea home time and time again in his teachings about life and the challenges of life. He said, and I quote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So let me say that again. It's a little different here, but the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So kind of what this means is that challenges and bad things, they're going to happen, but they can actually help us. They can help drive us forward. What stands in your way, that can actually become the new way if you prepare for it, and if you push through that challenge, and if you learn from it. So prepare yourself for these obstacles. Embrace the roadblocks that are inevitably going to be coming away. Embrace the curveballs and the screw-ups and the bad luck. Persevere through them. Grit it out. Steel your mind, be mentally tough, and remember, the obstacle is the way. And speaking of challenges and being mentally tough, a big part of all of this, a big part of really having a successful and or just having a fun hunting season is having the right attitude. It's having the right mental state of mind. If your first reaction when a challenge arrives is to get down in the dumps or complain or sulk or just throw in the towel, you're in for a long and disappointing season, my friend. Because as we just discussed, those challenges, they are coming. You have no control over that. Things are going to happen that are outside of your influence, outside of your control. But what you can control is how you react to that challenge with your actions, which is what we were just discussing. And then you can control how you mentally perceive and process that challenge. This is where attitude comes into play. Are you going to stay positive and keep pushing? Or are you going to let the negative thoughts seep in and get you down? Are you going to listen to that negative little voice in the back of your mind that says this hunt's a waste of time, or that buck will never show, or this property isn't good enough, or you're not good enough, or smart enough, or tough enough to achieve your goals? Don't buy that crap. But do prepare your psyche for those moments, because they're coming. So don't focus on the negative. Remember the positive. Don't unnecessarily dwell on those challenges that are coming, but figure out how to move on to solutions. No matter what happens, no matter what unforeseen, uncontrollable surprises come flying your way this season, remember that you do have control over some things. Your perception and attitude and mindset and your belief in yourself. And finally, most importantly, have fun. Have an absolute ton of fun this season. And don't let anything get in the way of that. Hunting, it's an amazing privilege and experience and lifestyle, so just drink it up. Take time to notice all the beauty and wonder around you. Spend time with those you love. Cherish those moments and memories. Enjoy every single second of these coming months of hunting. That's what we've waited for all year long. So good luck out there, my friends. Happy hunting, and stay wired to hunt.
I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the old ceremonial hunting tradition of eating the heart out of the first animal you kill. Meat from those organs are among the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet. You can get those same benefits your ancestors craved via convenient daily capsules from Heart and Soil. Find out more at heartandsoil.co. And remember, use code MeatEater for 10% off your purchase. You ever get that feeling the walls closing in, the concrete jungle suffocating you? You crave some wide open spaces, the chance to connect with nature, maybe in a spot all your own. Well, head over to land.com. They've got ranches, forests, mountains, streams, you name it. Search by acreage. You can search by location. You can search by the kind of hunting and fishing you're dreaming of. Land.com. It is where the adventure begins.